This is the Murli of 25th of October 1987, and the essence of the Murli is become detached in four things. Today, Bab Dada is looking at all his elevated children who are seated on a lotus seat. Today, Bab Dada is looking at all his elevated children who are seated on a lotus seat. Yeah, so let's see ourselves seated on a lovely lotus seat. A lotus seat is a symbol of the elevated stage of Brahmin souls. A seat is a means of remaining stable. A seat is a means of remaining stable. So, what did Baba look at today? Who did he look at? He looked at his elevated children who are seated on a lotus seat, and he's saying that a lotus seat is a symbol of the elevated stage of Brahmin souls. A seat is a means of remaining stable. Yeah, any seat. If the seat is stable, then your position is also stable. So Brahmin souls remain stable in a lotus-like stage, and this is why they are called those seated on a lotus seat. Brahmin souls remain stable in a lotus-like stage, and this is why they are called those seated on a lotus seat. Just as Brahmins become deities, similarly, those seated on the seat are the ones who are then able to sit on a throne. When we remain stable on the lotus seat, then we will be able to be situated on a throne in the future. When you remain seated on a lotus seat for a long time or a short time, you will become accordingly one seated on the throne of a kingdom for a long time or a short time. So if we remain seated on the lotus seat for a long time, then we will at the throne of the golden aged kingdom for a long time. And similarly, if we are seated on the lotus seat only for a short time, then we will get to sit on the throne for a short time as well. So a lotus seat is a symbol of the extremely detached and lovely stage. A lotus seat is a symbol of the extremely detached and lovely stage, like that of Father Brahma. You Brahmin children follow the Father, and this is why you have a lotus seat, the same as the Father. You Brahmin children follow the Father, and this is why you have a lotus seat, the same as the Father. The sign of being extremely detached is that you will be extremely loved by the Father and the whole family. You Brahmin children follow the Father, and this is why you have a lotus seat, the same as the Father. The small f Father, that is Brahma Baba. Yeah, because Brahma Baba was always detached and loving. So loving, lovely, more detached we are, more lovely we become, more loving we become, and more lovely we become. The sign of being extremely detached is that you'll be extremely loved by the Father, the capital F Father, and the whole family. To be detached means to be detached from everything. To be detached from the awareness of the body. Baba is saying the first thing that we have to be detached from is the awareness of the body. Dekaban. Worldly souls naturally and constantly have the awareness of the body while walking and moving along and performing every action. They don't have to make effort to think that they are a body. They don't have to make effort to think that they are a body. They have the awareness easily without even consciously thinking about it. For them, it is so natural to be in the awareness of the body. Similarly, we should be detached from the awareness of the body. It should be very natural for us to be in soul conscious state, and there should be no body awareness. In the same way, Brahmin souls seated on a lotus seat should also easily remain detached from the awareness of the body, just as souls without knowledge remain detached from soul consciousness. Very nice, right? Yeah, they are very easily able to remain detached, naturally remain detached from soul consciousness. So we should also very easily remain detached from the awareness of the body. You are soul conscious. No awareness of the body should pull you towards itself. You saw Father Brahma while walking and moving along. He had naturally the angelic and deity form in his awareness. To have such a constant soul conscious stage naturally is said to be detached from the awareness of the body. Only being detached from the awareness of the body will make you loved by God. Only being detached from the awareness of the body will make you loved by God. To remain detached from all the relationships of the body with your drishti, attitude, and actions. While seeing bodily relationships, so this is the second type of detachment that we have to practice. From all the relationships of the body with your drishti, attitude, and actions. While seeing bodily relationships, soul conscious relationships should naturally be in your awareness. This is why Bhaiya Dooj, that is the occasion of brother being invited to the sister's place, comes after Dipavali. When you become the sparkling star or the sparkling imperishable lamp, you have the relationship of brotherhood, or the sparkling imperishable lamp, you have the relationship of brotherhood. As souls, you have a brotherly relationship, and as corporeal Brahmins of the clan of Brahma, you have naturally the pure elevated relationship of brother and sister in your awareness. So, detachment means to be detached from the body and bodily relationships. Now, the third type of detachment that we need to incorporate in our lives is to be detached from the perishable possessions of the body. Yeah. First was the awareness of the body, second is the relationships of the body, and the third is now the perishable possessions of the body. If a physical possession is causing mischief for any of the physical senses, that is, if there is an attraction to it, then there isn't detachment. It is easy to be detached from relationships. However, the attraction to physical things from which you have to be detached still remains in a royal way. You were told that the clear form of attraction is desires. But the subtle and deep form of desire is to like something. You say, I don't have any desire, but I like it. Yeah, I like the air conditioning. I like my car. I like my shoes. This subtle form of liking can also take on the form of a desire. So check this very well. Is this physical thing, that is, this means of temporary happiness, pulling me? When a facility is not available at the time you want it, is your spiritual endeavor easy? That is, your stage of easy yoga does not fluctuate, does it? Yeah. Especially nowadays, our cell phones. Without our cell phones, are we able to survive? Mm. Are we still able to meditate? Where is my cell phone? Where is my cell phone? Yeah. So that is your stage of easy yoga does not fluctuate, does it? You're not influenced by any facility or compelled by your habits, are you? All of those physical facilities are facilities of matter. Yeah, the mattress, my pillow, my blanket. Do these physical things also pull us, attract us? So all of those physical facilities are facilities of matter. You're conquerors of matter, that is, your Brahmins seated on a lotus seat beyond the support of matter. You're conquerors of matter, that is, you are Brahmins seated on a lotus seat beyond the support of matter. Together with becoming conquerors of Maya, you also become conquerors of matter. Yeah, if it is hot, then I can't meditate. If it is cold, then I can't meditate. Yeah. If it's too humid, if it's too dry, if the light is too much, if the light is too less, if the sound is too much, if the sound is too less, all of these things, these are elements of matter. And we are conquerors of matter, right? We are not just conquerors of Maya, but we are also conquerors of matter. As soon as you become conquerors of Maya, Maya repeatedly tests you in various ways. She sees that her companions are becoming conquerors of Maya, so she gives many test papers. The test paper of matter is to bring all of you into upheaval through the facilities. And now Baba is explaining, for instance, shortage of water. That was not a big facility. So in those days in Madhuban, there was probably a big shortage of water. Baba is saying that was not a big paper. However, just as facilities are made with water, facilities are made with fire. In the same way, facilities created with even with every element of matter are the basis of temporary happiness for human souls in their life. So these facilities give us temporary happiness. They are all created through one of the element of matter. One of the elements of matter is used to create those facilities. So if those elements or that element is not there, then the facilities created by that element of matter will also not be there. Then we might be in distress. So all of these elements will test you. Now there was just the shortage of water, but when the facilities made with water are not available, that will then be a real test paper. These test papers through the elements will definitely come at their time. All right, so we'll be free from all of these test papers, from the body, from bodily relationships, from possessions, the elements of nature. So, this is why you have to become free from any attraction to the possessions of the body and remain free from any support of the body. You see, how do you know whether you're attached to an object, a possession? You see, detachment doesn't mean that you let go of everything. Yeah, you stop possessing anything. But what it really means is that you stop allowing those things to possess you, to control you. So if the cell phone goes for a walk, for a hike, yeah, at that time, are we able to maintain our stability? You remember last time when you couldn't find your cell phone? How distressing it is. Or maybe your AirPods can't find where is it, where is it, where is it? So that means those things are possessing you. So Baba is saying at present all facilities are available for you very well. There is nothing lacking. However, while all the facilities are available and while experimenting with all facilities, your stage of yoga should not fluctuate. To experiment as a yogi means to be detached. When you don't have anything anyway, that is not called being detached. You see, true detachment would be when you have everything, but you don't allow those things to possess you, to control you. If you don't have anything and you say, oh, I'm detached, what's the big deal? No. You see, all of these virtues, we have to examine ourselves and see whether these virtues are really there or these are pseudo virtues. Yeah, let's say there's a very strong person in front of you. And if that person says something and you don't say anything back to that person, so that quietness or not fighting back, not retaliating may seem like a virtue, but it may not be. It is probably because you're afraid. So, is that virtue coming out because of fear, or is it true virtue? That even when you can retaliate, even when you can harm, you don't. That's true tolerance, true virtue. No? There are a lot of people, they say, oh, I am not corrupt. I would never get involved in bribery. But is it because you didn't get a chance to bribe? or accept bribe, that nobody even offered you a bribe? Or are you truly a person who, even when bribe was offered, you rejected that? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's say there is somebody who is very weak in front of you, and if that person does something wrong, you can easily crush that person, but you choose not to do that. Yeah. Because you know what is right, what's wrong. That's true virtue, rather than the other way around, that you can really, you can't really do much. You are really weak, and so you're becoming virtuous because of that weakness, right? So that would be called as pseudo virtue, or being pseudo virtuous. So see how Baba is saying, at present all facilities are available for you very well. There's nothing lacking. However, while all the facilities are available and while experimenting with all facilities, your stage of yoga should not fluctuate. To experiment as a yogi means to be detached. When you don't have anything anyway, that is not called being detached. However, whilst having anything, use it for the sake of it and experiment with it without being attracted to it. Yeah. Whilst having everything, use it for the sake of it and experiment with it without being attracted to it. Another example would be that you have a lot of money. You have enough money to buy, let's say, the best mattress on this planet, $10,000 mattress. You easily have that money, but you choose not to. On the other hand, let's say, so you don't have money. You have $100 in the bank right now. So you'll have to buy $100 or maybe even $50 mattress. So you really weren't detached from the luxury. And if you have the opportunity and yet you refrain from indulging in it, that's when you have really shown the courage. So see, Baba is saying, definitely check yourself in this way. Where there's a desire, then no matter how much effort you make, the desire that is ichcha will not allow you to become good, that is acha. Where there's a desire, then no matter how much effort you make, that desire that is ichcha will not allow you to become acha. Otherwise, at the time of taking a test paper, your time will be spent in making effort. You will try to be absorbed in making spiritual endeavor, that is sadhana, but the facilities, that is sadhan, will attract you towards themselves. You'll try to be absorbed in making spiritual endeavor, that is sadhana, but the facilities, that is sadhan, will attract you towards themselves. You'll continue to battle and make effort to try and finish the attraction to the facilities, and your time for the test paper will pass by in the tug of war. What is Baba saying? Sadhana and sadhan. So there'll be a tug of war between these two. There'll be a battle whether I should buy this or not buy that. So Baba is saying all your time will be wasted in the tug of war. So what will be the result then? The facilities with which you experiment make you fluctuate in your stage of an easy yogi. The test papers from the elements are now going to come at a greater speed. Therefore, check in advance that none of the supports of physical things, food, drink, clothes, way of interacting, living, and coming into connection with others, that none of these things are taking the form of an obstacle, even in a subtle way. Try this out now. Do not begin to try when the test paper comes. There would then be a margin for failure. The stage of yoga means to have a detached stage while experimenting. The spiritual endeavor of an easy yogi should be victorious over the facilities, that is, over matter. The spiritual endeavor of an easy yogi should be victorious over the facilities, that is, over matter. It should not be that you're able to make do without one, but are not able to continue without the other. and that is why your stage fluctuates. Yes. You're okay if you don't have ice cream, but then you do need tea or coffee. Without tea or coffee, I cannot meditate. That should not happen, Baba is saying. That would not be called a detached life. Yeah, tea, coffee is ordinary things, but sometimes we want extravagant things, want lot of things. I want, there was one Mataji who would say that every day I have to give my husband at least two new vegetables for lunch and two new for dinner. So I make breakfast. So pretty much my whole day goes in the kitchen. So he doesn't want to have anything that he had in the lunch at dinner time. So I have to prepare absolutely new food for lunch and two vegetables, dal and rice. And again in the evening, after the lunch is over, she said, I take a little bit of rest, but then again I start preparing meal for the evening. I said, wow, that's something. You have to get so many vegetables then. That two vegetables in the afternoon, two vegetables in the evening. So you see, these kind of things, if you are so rigid and so demanding, then what if a time comes and there is curfew, there are riots, and the vegetable store is closed? Then we won't have those vegetables. Then what will we do? What will that person do? Yeah, so Bob is saying it should not be that you're able to make do without one, but are not able to continue without the other, and that is why your stage fluctuates. That would not be called a detached life. Attain such success that through your success, even unattained things give you the experience of attainment. Attain such success that through your success, even unattained things give you the experience of unattainment. That even without them, you're feeling fulfilled. So, at the beginning of establishment, in order to test whether they were attracted to things or not, programs were purposely made to test them on this. For instance, for 15 days, they were given just barley chapatis and buttermilk to eat. They had to try this out when wheat was available. No matter how ill someone were, they had to eat just this for 15 days. And the interesting thing, see, Baba is saying no one fell ill because of this. Those who were asthma patients became well. Yeah, normally you wouldn't feed an asthma patient with buttermilk, but Baba used to give that, and even asthma patients became well. They had the intoxication that Bab Dada had given that program. On the path of devotion, it is said that poison turned into nectar, but this was buttermilk. Yeah, poison for Mira, they say, right? Mira was given poison, but it turned into nectar. But here there is buttermilk, so buttermilk can easily turn into nectar. Faith and intoxication make you victorious in every situation. Faith and intoxication make you victorious in every situation. Such test papers will also come. You will have just dry chapatis to eat. At present, you have all facilities. You may say your teeth are not strong enough. At present, you have all the facilities. You might say your teeth are not strong enough. You are unable to digest it. What will you do at that time? When there is truly nothing else to eat. When you have faith, intoxication, and power from the success of yoga, even dry chapatis will work like soft chapatis and you won't be distressed. If you maintain the pride of being an embodiment of success, then no one can cause you distress. Yeah, otherwise you become a puppet in the hands of others. When you maintain the pride of being an embodiment of success, then no one can cause you distress. When lions become like cats in front of hatha yogis and snakes become like toys, when lions become like cats in front of hatha yogis and snakes become like toys, then none of these things are a big thing in front of you, easy Raj Yogi souls or embodiments of success. Have you seen that picture? I don't know if it was a real thing or not, but there's one picture where Buddha is shown meditating underneath a tree. His eyes are half closed, and there is an aura about him. And in that picture, it is shown that there are all these wild animals, poisonous snakes, lions, tigers, huge elephants. They're all bowing in front of him. Have you seen that picture? It used to be very common picture in those days. If you would go to the railway station or bus station even, many times you'll see those street vendors. They will have that picture and you could buy it very easily for 5-10 rupees. I don't know if you've ever seen it. We too don't have to worry about anything. That none of these things are a big thing in front of you, easy Raj Yogi. Souls who are embodiments of success. If you have the facility, use it comfortably, but check that you're not deceived at that time. That is when the time comes. The situation should not bring you down from your stage. It is easy to become detached from the relationships of the body, but you have to pay attention very well to being detached from the things of the body. Baba is saying it is easy to become detached from the relationships of the body. Something which I have said many times, we think that we are attached to people. Actually, no, we are not really. We are just attached to ourselves. See, today Baba has said this. Many times when I say this, people think, oh, why Shutang by saying this? It's not right. But today Baba has said it himself. It is easy to become detached from the relationships of the body. Let's say you're very attached to someone and that person scolds you a little bit. What happens at that time? Do you have love for that person? You want to run away 100 miles away from that person, no? Yeah. Let's say that person doesn't listen to you. Yeah. Do you still feel attached at that time? Attachment goes up and down so quickly. Yes or no? You feel it? Yeah. It actually is not that strong, our attachment. Again, that attachment to human beings is very selfish kind of attachment. It is that there's something in us that we feel good about the experience that we have with that person. So we are attached to that experience within ourselves and not to that other person. And if we are not getting from that person, somebody else gives that, then our loyalty also shifts very quickly, actually. This has been seen. People have studied this. Psychologists have written books about this. Even philosophers have talked about this. And today, see, Papa is saying that it is easy to become detached from the relationships of the body, but you have to pay attention very well to being detached from the things of the body. To be detached from the old nature and sanskaras. Now, this is again another thing that we have to be detached from old nature and sanskars. This is also very tough. The nature and sanskars of the old body are very strong. Those two become a big obstacle in becoming a conqueror of Maya. Many times, Babda sees that the snake of the old nature and sanskars finish, but the line still remains. That repeatedly deceives you at that time. That is when the time comes. So, some sort of trace of the sanskars remained. Their strong nature and sanskars make you so influenced by Maya that often you don't even consider something wrong to be wrong. Yes. What Baba is saying, the strong nature and sanskaras make you so influenced by Maya that often you don't even consider something wrong to be wrong. The power of realization finishes. Yeah. Ignorance of ignorance. You understand what is ignorance of ignorance? Knowledge of knowledge and ignorance of ignorance. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah, they call the knowledge of knowledge as meta learning. Yeah, learning how to learn, the knowledge of knowledge, to understand what is knowledge. Or on the other hand, we end up having ignorance of our ignorance. We don't know what we don't know. And we don't know that we don't know. Both things. You understand? We don't know that we don't know. We also don't know what we don't know. So this strong nature and sanskars make you so influenced by Maya that often you don't even consider something wrong to be wrong. The power of realization finishes. The psychologists nowadays say that what happens is we rewrite the story in our minds. Let's say there was a wrong kind of interaction with someone, an altercation, and now let's say that person didn't even say something negative, but you have taken it in a negative way, let's say. Then very soon, because of replaying that story in our minds in the wrong way, the wrong story, that becomes the truth for us. Even though that person didn't say anything, and somewhere in the beginning you knew that it wasn't really that bad, but you have replayed the story so much that now this becomes the real story. This becomes the truth. You understand? So when people say, no, no, this happened, actually, they are not lying many times. In their minds, they have already rewritten the story. So now that seems like the truth. I'm repeating myself just to drive the point home. So, see what Baba is saying. The power of realization finishes. In order to be detached from this, you need to have very good checking. When the power of realization finishes, you have to tell 1,000 lies in order to prove your one lie. You become so influenced that you don't even feel that you're lying. You understand? Let's say I have forgotten that I had lunch, but I had lunch. So if you ask me, did you have lunch? I would say, no, I didn't have. Or lunch is a big deal, nobody really forgets lunch. But let's say you forget to drink, or you've drunk tea, but you've forgotten that you have had tea. Now later somebody asks me, did you drink tea? I'll say no. So that is not a lie, really. The other person would say, oh, I saw you drinking tea. But from that person's point of view, he has totally forgotten. So that story of not drinking tea is the truth for that person. Sometimes let's say two people are talking there, and let's say two of your friends are talking, and you go there and they stop talking. So now the story that you will write in your mind is they were talking about you, gossiping about you. So now what would happen? You have already written that story. So over and over, you will keep thinking, revisiting that story. Yeah, they were talking about me. I don't know what they were talking about me. Yeah, this is what they do all the time. So now that has become the truth for you. And you will defend that truth, which is a lie, with 1,000 more lies. That's what happens to all of us. See, what Baba is sharing today is just pure psychology. So you become so influenced. To try to prove yourself right is also a sign of being influenced by your old sanskars. One is to clarify something that is right, and the other is to justify yourself by stubbornness. You understand? One is to clarify something that is right, and the other is to justify yourself by stubbornness. Those who try to prove themselves right with stubbornness cannot become embodiments of success. Yeah, this is what I tell everybody, especially the people who are close to me, that when your elders tell you something, then just listen to it. There could be some deep wisdom in it. And what I have done in the past many years, in fact, ever since I remember, is that when seniors are telling me something, I always, even if it may not be immediately obvious or may not seem relevant to me, I just take it as, yeah, there must be some wisdom behind it. So let me listen to it and let me try to do what I can to change what needs to be changed. Yeah, whatever direction they are giving me. So those who try to prove themselves right with stubbornness cannot become embodiments of success. Also, check that not even the slightest trace of any of the old nature or sanskars remain hidden somewhere. Do you understand? Those who are detached in all these four things are said to be loved by the Father and also loved by the family. So, what are the four things that we have to be detached from? The first is the awareness of the body. The second is, yeah, what was the second thing? Relationships. Yeah. The third is possessions and matter. And the fourth is our old sanskaras, our old nature. So those who are detached in all these four things are said to be loved by the Father and also loved by the family. Have you become those seated? Have you become those seated on a lotus seat in this way? This is called follow Father. It was when Father Brahma became seated on the lotus seat that he became number one, loved by the Father and also loved by Brahmins, whether in the corporeal form or now in the Avyakt form. Even now, what emerges in the heart of each and every Brahmin, our Brahma Baba, you don't feel that you didn't see him in the corporeal form. You didn't see him with your eyes, but you saw him with your heart. You saw him with the divine eye of the intellect. You experienced him. This is why every Brahmin says from his or her heart, my Brahma Baba. This is a sign of being loved. Yeah, so Brahma Baba was loved by everyone. And why was he loved? Because of the detachment that he practiced. Detachment from everything made him loved by the world. So, in the same way, be detached from everything and be loved by all. Do you understand? Yeah. You see, I can give you an example, a very simple example. Let's say I'm very attached to this water bottle. Now, maybe I have misplaced it somewhere and I can't find it. Then I will be upset because I'm so attached to the bottle. And somewhere that state of being upset is a state of discontentment. So, what will happen when you are around me or I am around you? I will express that discontentment. I'll be irritable. I'll be short tempered. Now, where is my bottle? Where is my bottle? Yeah, this bottle is has started possessing me, let's say. Yeah, it's not just that I possess this bottle, but this as if this bottle is me. I identify myself with this bottle, then I'm bound to become irritable if I can't find it. And because of that irritability, I will definitely create discontentment in people around me. So then who will love me? You understand? Think about these things. So we have to be detached from many different things. So again, let's say I have this habit of being irritable for no reason. That's my old nature, my old sanskar. So who will want to be with me? Everybody will run away. Yeah, all of these things one has to understand. So detachment from everything made him loved by the world. So in the same way, be detached from everything and be loved by all. Do you understand? Those from Gujarat live close by, and so they are also close in following. Your speciality is to be close in both the place and your stage. So at that time, probably souls from Gujarat had come there. Babda, is always pleased to see the children. Acha. The salutations now to all the detached children everywhere who are loved by the Father. To all the detached children everywhere who are loved by the Father and are seated on a lotus seat. To the special souls who are always conquerors of Maya and conquerors of matter. Yeah, but also detached from our old sanskaras, relationships and connections, as well as awareness of the body. To the faithful children who are always, no, to the faithful children who always follow the Father, Babdada's loved, filled remembrance and namaste. Then Babdada is meeting groups. To the server brothers and sisters who have come to Madhuban, for the time that you spent doing service in Madhuban, did you also experience constant yoga for that time? Your yoga did not break, did it? To be a server in Madhuban means to experience being a constant and easy yogi. You'll always remember this experience of a short time, will you not? Whenever any adverse situation comes up, just come to Madhuban in your mind. Then, by becoming a resident of Madhuban, you will become an easy yogi and the situation or problem will end. Always keep this experience of yours with you. By remembering this experience, you'll receive power. The fruit of service is imperishable, Acha. It is not a simple thing. No, it is not a small thing to receive this chance. You have received a big chance. A server means one who is always an instrument like the Father, one who remains humble. Humility is the most elevated means of success. In any service, humility and being an instrument, that is Nirman and Nimit, are the means of success. So, did you serve with these specialities? In such service, there's always success and also pleasure. You enjoy the pleasure of the confluence age, and this is why you don't feel service to be service. For instance, when someone wrestles, he does that with enjoyment, considering it to be a sport. There's no tiredness or pain in that because he does that considering it to be entertainment and for enjoying himself. In the same way, if you serve with the speciality of a true server, then there can never be tiredness. Do you understand? You will always feel that you didn't do service, but that you were just playing a game. It was fun. It wasn't service, it was fun. We had a great time, and so there's no tiredness. In fact, you feel refreshed after doing the service. So, whatever service you're asked to do, continue to achieve success with these two specialities. By doing so, you will constantly become an embodiment of success. Acha. And there's a blessing too. Acha. So, may you be seated on Babdada's heart throne and forget the old body and the old world. The place of the elevated souls of the confluence age is Babdada's heart throne. You cannot find such a throne throughout the whole cycle. You will continue to receive the throne of the kingdom of the world or the throne of a state, but you won't receive this throne. It is such a big throne that while walking, moving around, eating, sleeping, etc., you can constantly be seated on the throne. The children who are constantly seated on Babdada's heart throne forget their old bodies and the physical world. They see it, but do not see it.